So I've always been wanting to do like a fan art of Odette and Odile from the Swan Lake Anime version, so this is it. I started out with a sketch that I did in Photoshop and pulled it into Adobe Illustrator to do the line work. Now the pen that I'm using right now is the pen tool. You can either use the pen tool to make lines or you can make fills with it. In this one I'm doing the fills, as you can see, because I just feel a little more comfortable with fills as far as like making the varying thicknesses of the lines, but you know, you can make a custom brush to do the lines with and it works just as well, as long as you just make it with the tapered edge so that you can get some kind of varying thickness from your lines. You can also use the brush tool. I'm using a Wacom bamboo. It doesn't quite have the sensitivity of an Intuos or a Cintiq, so that's why I'm using the actual pen tool, because again it gives me a lot more control over what my lines are doing. So on to what I'm doing. So I'm just making the shapes of the fills. As you can see, it's set to a fill color of black, no line, so that as I'm drawing the points with my pen tool, it auto-fills everything as I'm going along. Now, I don't know how experienced you are with the pen tool, but the pen tool works with a thing called Bezier Curves. And what the curves do is they keep you from having to go, along all your lines and make like point by point angular little dots and, try to connect those with as many as possible. With utilizing the Bezier curves, like once you get a good understanding of it, it helps you use less and less points in your pen tool, and that's good because it keeps things really smooth. It shortens your workload, and it's pretty nice. So this, all in all, took me about an hour and a half. I've sped it up, I want to say about 6 or 8 times or something like that, and cropped some stuff out of it to give it to you in 5 minutes, because I know this can get a little long and exhaustive. Some tricks that I like to use for Illustrator that a lot of people that I've ever seen doing it, I've noticed that they don't exactly utilize to its full potential, is using the shortcut keys. Instead of having to go back to the tool palette, if you know the shortcut for the tool that you want to toggle between, that makes things go a little faster. For the pen tool, it's P. For the paintbrush, it's B. Another one that I use is the hand tool to kind of scooch stuff around, and that's H. And then finally, for the magnifier, for zoom, it's Z. So just knowing, those few shortcuts can really reduce the time that it takes for you to toggle between tools. Another trick with the Bezier curve that the pen tool uses, a lot of times, when you're new to it, you don't know how to turn off the handles that actually control the level, the amount of the curve. It's great when you're starting for the first edge, but a lot of times the depth of your first handle will determine the depth of the curve that you have coming up, and that's not always what you want. So if you hold down, I don't know what it is for PC because I use a Mac, but if you hold down the Alt key and hit the point that you've just made, it will turn off the control handle for the next curve and kind of allow you to do whatever you want for the next one. It won't be, determined by the curve that preceded it. So that's really helpful. Something that I like to do a lot. So now I'm just going through. You'll notice that the line thicknesses that I'm using for the bottom of the girls, for their feet and the bottom of the dresses, it's a little thicker than what I use on the top. That's pretty much because with the clothes, I'm actually going to be using these lines, whereas on the face, I'm probably going to cut out a lot of it in favor of just painting in all the details. You kind of don't want really harsh, thick lines on someone's face or, their hands or anything like that, because it just doesn't read well. So now I'm using the brush tool to do the hair. I'm just putting wisps in because, again, I'm going to cut that out later. Adding the details to her glove. And you can also use this direct arrow selection tool, that's A, to move around past that you've already made. So that's it. Pretty short. Kind of went through it kind of fast, but that's the girls. And coming up will be the painting video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you tune in for that because it'll be really cool. Thank you.